This evening, former head of the Presidential Secretariat, Dr. Roger Luncheon, passes away. Devastating fire engulfed Freedom Hoop Stelling. 13 vessels destroyed, watchman taken into custody. Reckless truck driving trends raise concerns as police commander sustains injuries. In the region, Argentina indigenous groups protest against lithium mining. And internationally, what is behind the rising violent attacks in Pakistan? Welcome to this broadcast of Channel 2's Headline News Update for August 2nd, 2023. I am Baby Bacchus. Thank you for joining us. First up, a fire of unknown origin broke out at the Freedom Hoop Stelling on the west coast of Demerara during the early hours of Tuesday, August 1st, 2023. The Guyana Fire Service received a call at 1:49 a.m. The firefighting team were immediately dispatched to the scene. Upon arrival at the scene, the firefighters met with several boats already engulfed in flames. The fire quickly spread to a total of 19 vessels docked at the Stelling. 13 of the boats were tragically destroyed beyond repair, while 6 others sustained partial damages. Investigations by the police reveal that the fire originated from the rear end of a vessel docked on the southern side of the Stelling. Some individuals suspect that the fire may have been an act of arson, as thick smoke was seen before the fire broke out. Boat owners rushed to the scene after an alarm was raised. Many of them expressed sorrow and heartbreak over losing their vessels, their sole source of income. The police questioned several individuals, including a watchman responsible for the vessel where the fire started. The watchman was later taken into custody at the Freedom Hoop Police Outpost and is assisting with the investigations. However, the exact cause of the fire remains undetermined and requires further examination by the fire prevention officers. Dr. Roger Luncheon, a prominent figure in Guyanese politics and former head of the Presidential Secretariat, has passed away early Wednesday morning. The People's Progressive Party confirmed his death in a brief statement expressing their deep sorrow at losing a true son of the soil. In his mid-70s, Dr. Roger Luncheon died at the Georgetown Public Hospital Corporation, where he had been hospitalized for several weeks. Throughout his career, Dr. Luncheon served in various capacities, including as the head of the Presidential Secretariat and Cabinet Secretary for 5 presidents of Guyana. Despite facing physical challenges, Dr. Luncheon remained actively involved in politics and continued to serve as the presidential advisor until his passing. He was an American-trained nephrologist and a highly regarded specialist in internal medicine. In other news, a disturbing trend of hazardous truck driving on roadways has led to several accidents, causing numerous injuries and even fatalities. The issue came into sharp focus when the police commander of Region 4 Subdivision 4B, Superintendent Mahendra Singh, sustained injuries in a collision on the east bank of the Demerara Public Road earlier today, August 2nd, as confirmed by Police Commissioner Clifton Hicken. The incident occurred at Friendship Public Road, where a truck recklessly drove into the path of the police force vehicle, leading to a collision. Superintendent Mahendra Singh on board the police vehicle suffered a couple of lacerations due to the impact. Mr. Singh and the police driver were immediately rushed to the hospital for medical attention. Witnesses at the scene shared their accounts, with one individual expressing concerns about Mr. Singh's well-being. Reportedly, the subdivisional commander exhibited signs of dizziness after the accident. The truck driver, who appeared uninjured, was taken into custody for further investigation into the cause of the accident. The accident involving the police commander highlights the pressing issue of reckless truck driving on the roadways, leading to a growing number of accidents and endangering the lives of others. As such incidents become increasingly common, authorities are urged to address this concern urgently and implement measures to curb hazardous driving practices. Stick around when we return. The government commences construction of 210 young professional homes in LBI, and Guyana Police Force investigating an alleged murder of a Mazarini shopkeeper.
When you need money and you gotta get it fast, Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop is the place for that confidential transaction in a quiet and secure location. You'll get the highest value per pennyweight for your gold, and also enjoy the lowest interest rates and longest payback period too. Yes, for that instant transaction to solve a pressing financial problem. That Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, 4-6 Boyle Place, that's between the Ministry of Housing on Brick Dam and White Castle Fish Shop. Be your first and only choice. Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, safe and sound, solid and secure, always there for you. Telephone 231-7878 and 223-8955.
Smart Minds Educational Institute, offering preschool, nursery, and primary levels. Finally, a school that is every parent's dream. Located at 69 Crow Street, offering academic excellence, trained qualified teachers, small class sizes, personalized gear, and one-to-one attention for your little ones. At Smart Minds, register for full-time or evening classes, daily practice pass exam papers for proficiency at the grade 2, 4, and 6 assessment, and CXE exam preparedness. Or join our Becca Phonics reading and writing program. So if your child is for preschool, nursery, or primary level, come to Smart Mind, located at 69 Street, or call 231-4885 or 600-9229 to enroll now.
Hello, my fellow TikToker followers. He is Credit, and today all we will be making Chinese noodles with peppies, chow mein, chicken fritters, and spice cake. For the noodles, all these will be using peppies, black pepper, cashew,
Chinese sauce, soy sauce, garlic sauce, paprika, Chinese seasoning, chow mein seasoning, white spice, and all-purpose seasoning.
Next, this chicken that we marinated, soak for all you don't know nothing, with peppies, green seasoning, miracle seasoning,
Pepper sauce, chicken seasoning, paprika, garlic powder, dark seasoning, black pepper, onion powder, and ginger powder, and document plantain flour, and then this butter we make with this quick piece powder, and we
boil in high. We serve with peppies, barbecue sauce. Radical went to the supermarket and she proper buy up enough things. She feels she alone can cook, but she routine even wrong. He shaped like a guy in a map.
Peppies has a wide range of ingredients available at supermarkets nationwide. Peppies, we put the pep back into your kitchen.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny? I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again. Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Welcome back. The government has started building 210 young professional homes at the Lebon Intention Housing Scheme, East Coast Demerara. The houses will be available in two styles, single flat and two-story units, similar to those in Prospect and Providence and the East Bank of Demerara. Minister within the Ministry of Housing and Water, Susan Rodriguez, revealed that the project includes constructing over 100 single flat units and 100 two-story units. The aim is to provide affordable housing and enable individuals to own homes in thriving communities. The construction of these homes is progressing smoothly, and the government hopes that building homes within these communities will facilitate faster occupancy. This is part of a larger plan to encourage people to move into communities and settle in these areas more quickly. Additionally, the government is actively looking to build homes specifically targeting low-income earners along the East Coast. The focus is to identify suitable locations for the housing project to cater to the needs of this demographic. Minister Rodriguez emphasized that these initiatives are expected to increase occupancy in housing developments and encourage those allocated house lots in these communities to occupy their lands. Under the government's turnkey initiative, there are currently more than 1,500 homes under construction in various communities, including LBI, Providence, Prospect, Great Diamond, Cummins Lodge, Hampshire, Williamsburg, Ordnance, Fort Lance, and Amelia's Ward Linden. Some of these homes have already been handed over to families, while others are at different stages of completion. Ghana is upgrading its custodial and correctional facilities to ensure safer and improved living conditions for inmates. 3 facilities at the Lusignan prison on the east coast of Demerara have been completed, accommodating 680 inmates, with 3 more facilities to house 500 inmates soon. The aim is to centralize the prison at Lusignan for maximum supervision and control over operations. Phase 1 of the Mazaruni prison is completed. housing 220 inmates, and Phase 2 is expected to be finished by December, accommodating another 200 inmates. Construction at the New Amsterdam prison will begin later this year. The government has allocated significant funding to support the transformation of the prison service, promoting custodial safety, rehabilitation, and successful reintegration of inmates into society. The focus is on providing a modernized and humane environment for inmates nationwide. The police are investigating the alleged murder of 55-year-old Andrew Harris, also known as Short Man, a shopkeeper at Suriname Landing, Mazaruni River. According to reports, Harris was allegedly murdered between July 31st and August 1st of 2023 at Maria Backdam, Middle Mazaruni River, by a 34-year-old co-worker. Harris and the suspect had been working together at a newly constructed shop owned by a 53-year-old businesswoman from Stewartville, West Coast Demerara, for the past 10 days. The businesswoman said she received a phone call from the suspect around 10 a.m. on August 1st, claiming that he had found Harris dead at the shop. Upon reporting the incident to the police, they visited the scene and discovered Harris's body slouched on a bench with apparent blood stains on his jersey and the ground around him. Detectives examined the body and observed a 3-inch stab wound on the victim's upper left chest. The suspect was arrested at a nearby camp and is currently in custody as further investigations are ongoing. Don't go away after the break. U.S. migrant crisis. Hundreds of asylum seekers sleep rough in New York. And what is behind the rising violent attacks in Pakistan?
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny?
I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lenders, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again. Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Hello, my fellow TikToker followers. He is Credit, and today all we will be making Chinese noodles with peppies, chow mein, chicken fritters, and poised cake. For the noodles, all of these will be using peppies, black pepper, cashew,
Chinese sauce, soy sauce, garlic sauce, paprika, Chinese seasoning, chow mein seasoning, five spice, and all-purpose seasoning.
Next, this chicken that we marinated, soak for all you wanna know nothing with peppies, green seasoning, miracle seasoning,
Pepper sauce, chicken seasoning, paprika, garlic powder, jerk seasoning, black pepper, onion powder, and ginger powder, and document plantain flour. And then this butter we make with this quick piece powder, and we
boil in high. We serve with peppies, barbecue sauce. Radhika went to the supermarket and she probably buy up enough things. She feels she alone can cook, but she routine even wrong. She shaped like a guy in a map.
Peppies has a wide range of ingredients available at supermarkets nationwide. Peppies, we put the pep back into your kitchen.
Smart Minds Educational Institute, offering preschool, nursery, and primary levels. Finally, a school that is every parent's dream. Located at 69 Crow Street, offering academic excellence, trained qualified teachers, small class sizes, personalized care, and one-to-one attention for your little ones. At Smart Minds, register for full-time or evening classes, daily practice pass exam papers for proficiency at the grade 2, 4, and 6 assessment, and CXE exam preparedness. Or join our Becca Phonics reading and writing program. So if your child is for preschool, nursery, or primary level, come to Smart Mind, located at 69 Crow Street, or call 231-4885 or 600-9229 to enroll now.
When you need money and you gotta get it fast, Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop is the place for that confidential transaction in a quiet and secure location. You'll get the highest value per pennyweight for your gold and also enjoy the lowest interest rates and longest payback period too. Yes, for that instant transaction to solve a pressing financial problem. That Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, 4-6 Boyle Place, that's between the Ministry of Housing on Brick Dam and White Castle Fish Shop, be your first and only choice. Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, safe and sound, solid and secure, always there for you. Telephone 231-7878 and 223-8955.
Welcome back. Now let's take a look at what's happening in the region and around the world. In Argentina, members of an indigenous community have been on a march to demand greater rights. It follows a change in legislation in Jujuy province, giving lithium mining companies greater access to indigenous lands. Al Jazeera's Teresa Bo reports.
It's the day of the Pachamama, or the Mother Earth, for Andean indigenous communities in South America. These indigenous protesters traveled over 1,000 kilometers to the center of Buenos Aires to protest against a new constitution in the northern province of Jujuy that they say will endanger their rights.
We are here to defend our access to water. The government doesn't listen to us. We need to have the deeds of our territories, but the governor ignores us. They want to exploit lithium. We say no to lithium and yes to water.
The province of Jujuy is located in northern Argentina in what is known as the Lithium Triangle, one of the largest lithium reserves in the world. In the past years, many foreign companies have started to extract what many refer to as white gold.
People here have been marching for days because they're extremely concerned about the new constitution in the province of Jujuy that they believe will make it easier for multinational companies to enter their territory to exploit lithium and other minerals. They believe their livelihoods are at risk.
In June, the provincial government passed a new constitution. Indigenous communities say the government did not consult with them about what will happen in their territories. The government of Jujuy has suspended 2 articles of the constitution and said they will revise them to satisfy indigenous communities. These people say it's not enough. Kia says her people are tired of being discriminated against and ignored.
There are no rights for indigenous groups in the country. There are rights for Argentinians. There is a constitution, but not for us.
As the people from the Andes prepare to celebrate the month of the Mother Earth, indigenous communities from Jujuy are convinced this year is about preserving their territories from a threat they are convinced will endanger their way of life. Teresa Bo, Al Jazeera, Buenos Aires.
Hundreds of U.S. asylum seekers have formed long lines outside a New York hotel that has been converted into a center to help them. The hotel has posted signs outside saying it is already at capacity, but more people continue to gather as New York struggles with its flow of migrants to the city. Al Jazeera's Gabriel Alonso spoke with some of those waiting to be processed who says this isn't the American dream they were seeking.
Saul Lopez spent 3 months on a dangerous journey getting from his native Venezuela to the United States. He shows me a video he took on his cell phone while riding on the top of a train in Mexico heading north. He almost fell off, but he took the risk to get to America to earn money for his family back home, his mom and dad and 3-year-old son.
I want to be able to move forward in life and be able to help my family back in Venezuela. It's very bad there.
Lopez arrived in New York 3 days ago. He is one of thousands of migrants who have been bused to the city from Texas with promises of work and shelter. But for these men, there are neither. A hotel that closed during the pandemic has been converted into the main processing center for newly arrived migrants. But it's full, all 1,000 rooms taken by women and children. So the men can only sit outside and wait, hoping a spot opens up. Police have put up barricades, keeping the migrants on the sidewalk. There's not even a toilet.
Many of these migrants are also from Africa. Many are from Angola, Chad, Senegal, and Sudan. They're here with anything that they have, all their belongings, after their long journey to get here to New York. Many of them tell us that they weren't expecting the conditions to be like this. Many of the people here are scared of talking because they just don't know what to expect next.
New York City's migrant shelter system isn't working. The city's mayor, Eric Adams, has admitted as much.
We need help, and it's not going to get any better. From this moment on, it's downhill. There is no more room.
As for Saul, this is not the so-called American dream he was expecting.
No, I didn't expect it to be like this. I came for an opportunity in life, and all I want is to work and have a place to sleep at night.
He went back to the sidewalk behind the barricades, propping himself up on a trash can. This will be where he and many other like him rest for yet another night, victims of a broken immigration system. Gabriel Elizondo, Al Jazeera, New York.
And finally, suicide attacks by the Pakistani Taliban have become more frequent since peace talks with the government collapsed in November. The ties further deteriorated in the wake of the Taliban takeover of Afghanistan in 2021, but it seems to have warmed up since the removal of Imran Khan as Pakistan's Prime Minister last April. Khan opposed U.S. drone raids in Pakistan tribal areas. Al Jazeera's Kamal Haider reports.
The aftermath of another suicide bombing in Pakistan. More than 150 wounded from the attack at Bajawar near the Afghan border are rushed to a nearby hospital on stretchers. The walking wounded are bathed in blood. Family and friends say prayers and make a passionate appeal for peace and security.
Everywhere the situation is getting worse. No one is safe anywhere, even in the mosque, school, or bazaar. And now it's the political rallies. We don't know who is responsible for this menace.
The Pakistani military launched several operations in bordering areas, forcing the Pakistani Taliban to escape into Afghanistan. The Pakistani fighters have found safe haven across the border, especially since the US withdrawal from Afghanistan 2 years ago. Police in Pakistan say attacks by the Pakistani Taliban are being carried out from Afghanistan.
The presence of elements of certain proscribed organizations in a neighboring country adversely affects the law and order situation in the erstwhile tribal area. Khyber Pakhtunkhwa police, being the front-line police, has faced tremendous challenges, but was able to successfully thwart 2 of these attempts.
But the leader of the Jamiyat-e-Ulema Islam, which is part of the ruling coalition, says the increase in attacks is also due to the failure of Pakistan's security forces and intelligence agencies.
There are 26 intelligence agencies in this country, and it's their failure, despite having all resources. They have failed to provide us security to maintain the peace. For how long our people will become victims of terrorism?
Senior army and police officials in Pakistan acknowledge they cannot win this war without the help from their neighbors in Afghanistan. The United Nations Security Council has urged countries to cooperate with Pakistan in its efforts to apprehend and prosecute those responsible for the violence. Many here say the government needs to focus more on improving security instead of settling political scores. Pakistani government leaders have repeatedly raised their concerns with Afghan Taliban leaders, but after receiving assurances that Afghan territory will not be used for attacks, Pakistan wants actions rather than words. Kamal Haider, Al Jazeera, Peshawar.
This brings us to the end of our regional and global news coverage. Up next is the 3-day weather forecast. that's Safe TV Headline News for this Wednesday evening. As we take our leave, we invite you to follow us on Facebook and YouTube. You can tune in tomorrow morning at 6:30 for a rebroadcast and at 7 p.m. for more news. Until then, please take care of yourself and each other.